Man, thank you for being here with us, man. We appreciate it.
Of course.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, first thing is we got the book.
Thank you. You were the ones. You got it. Yeah.
Yep. We've been reading. We've been reading furiously since well, we got it last week. It came last week. So yeah. This is it's a really greatly written book.
Yeah. And as a Tupac fan, I've read every book about him. And this is by far the best one because you interview everybody. I mean,
I tried.
Yeah.
So how many people did you interview for this book?
I interviewed, the official total was 652.
Wow.
So I'm standing by it. Yeah.
That is a lot of interviews.
That's the most.
Yeah, a lot of time. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay, so we did say, like, there have been so many books written by Tupac. Why did you feel like you needed to write this one, and what makes it so different than all the other books written?
So, it's interesting. I used to be a writer at Sports Illustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And a colleague of mine years ago named Lee Montville wrote a biography of Babe Ruth. And I remember talking to him, and I was like, there have been a lot of Babe Ruth books. Why Babe Ruth? And he said, well, there's never been my Babe Ruth book. And I actually kind of like, I think people have different approaches and ways of looking at Tupac. There have been some really good Tupac books. I thought the book Jasmine Guy wrote about his mother was terrific. I thought Santa Elijah Holly's book on American Family was very good, The American Family. I thought the estate book was actually pretty good, considering it was an estate book, the one Stacey Robinson did a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. What I really was looking for, and that I didn't see out there, was the 600 interview, birth to death, find everyone. Don't just interview the obvious people, but find the obscure people. Find the teeniest, tiniest people who had some engagement and something to take away from Tupac, and go after all of them and put it together. I just thought, I'm a trained sports writer. I'm a Sports Illustrated background guy. And when I was at Sports Illustrated, the whole emphasis was on ask questions other people don't, find subjects other people aren't talking to, and do that. So I tried bringing, I guess, that sports ethos to a Tupac book.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great idea. That's kind of what we do.
Yeah.
We really try and find, like, people who aren't out there, that people don't really know. So yeah, we understand that.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is you guys look for the most nobody author you can find.
No.
Right here with this guy, you nailed it.
No. We focus primarily on death row.
But he's a New York Times bestseller.
Yes,
multiple times.
Yes, yeah. You are not a nobody author.
Come
that
on.
is true.
I have no problem being somebody, to be clear. Really I didn't become a writer to become famous. I became a writer because I like writing. So.
Yeah.
So, okay. I mean, Brenda Got a Baby. I love that song. And as a fan, I listened to it. I knew it was a real person. But I never think about anything about her or the baby. For all I knew, I thought the baby probably was dead. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what makes you look for him in her?
It's so funny. I was on a podcast recently, and there was 3 black men in like their 30s. And one of them goes, only a white guy would think about finding the baby. I was like, I don't really think that's true. But I do think, like, in fact, I know that's not true. But I do think it's a very journalistic way of thinking of a story is, again, like you find a subject and you think, okay, what hasn't been done? Like what route hasn't been taken? Like, all right, we've all heard Omar Epps or a lot of people talk about him being with Tupac on Juice. We know it's a big song. We know Money B is in the video. We know Alan Hughes directed the video. So what hasn't been asked? And I just thought, like, I knew it was based on a real subject. I find the article. I work with an amazing genealogist named Michelle Surley, and I thought, I don't know, it'd be kind of cool to find the baby. And one day she just called me and was like, I have this number for this guy, Davonn Hodge. I think it's him. And it turned out being him. And that all led to reuniting him with the mom. So it wasn't like, it had nothing to do with being white or black or old or young. I think what I had to do with was being a journalist with a long, long run of journalistic training, if that makes sense. Just thinking outside the box a little bit. Yeah.
So the night you call him or the day you call him, were you nervous? It's like, okay, I don't know you. I never met you, never heard of you. But I'm going to ask you, are you the baby they're trying to trash you?
Right.
No, it's definitely unconventional. I did it over text because nobody answers their phone anymore. So basically what I did is I sent this really clumsy text where I was basically like, hey, my name's Jeff Pearlman. I'm a writer, working on a book about Tupac. By any chance, might this be you? And I attached the article from the Daily News from 1991 that Tupac read. And he basically wrote me back and was like, whoa, holy cow, let's talk tomorrow. So I don't know what the good way of approaching someone who was thrown down a trash heap when his raped mother at age 12
Right?
didn't know what to do with the baby. Like, what is exactly the couth way to do that? I don't know. So I tried my best. And it turns out Davonn, that baby, who's now 34 years old, is a great, great guy, like a great guy, and lovely, and really enjoyed this journey. And, you know, we actually appeared on the All the Smoke podcast a few weeks ago together, and it was awesome having him there and telling the story and talking about his journey. So he's a really good guy.
Yeah. So is he still
In contact?
Yeah, in contact with his mom? Like, is he still trying to navigate that relationship?
Yeah, so it's very, she was living in Newark, New Jersey when we found her. He lives in Las Vegas, Nevada, has for a long time. And she moved to Las Vegas, right? And they have a relationship, but, you know, there's a lot of trauma there. Like, there's a lot of trauma there. So I can't say it's been seamless and easy, but he definitely has a relationship with this. I mean, it's funny because I thought about thought of all the trauma, thought of the difficulties, the complications. And I never thought, like, until recently, of the base root of it all, which is this woman threw you down a trash heap. And yes, she was 12 years old. And yes, she was raped by a cousin. And yes, she was all alone. And yes, she was terrified. All true, all understandable. But there is still that hurdle to get past, which is this woman, who was my birth mother, threw me down a trash heap. And I just think there's a lot of trauma involved in Tupac's life, and definitely a lot of trauma in that particular story.
Yeah, when we tell stories like that, I mean, we say like the mom threw away the baby, but she literally threw away the baby,
Right.
which is just beyond.
She was 12
I know.
and raped by a cousin. And she was going through a lot.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I don't even know how you really, how you process that as a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean, that's yeah. So, okay, so you interviewed quite a few of Tupac's family members. Like how many, and like, how did you approach them?
So, okay, I interviewed his sister, Seth. I interviewed his cousins, multiple cousins, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different cousins. I interviewed the woman who basically was his godmother, Yasmin Fula, although not an official relationship. You know, the best way journalistically to approach people is you build up. So, like, I would not, like, the first people you approach are not relatives. The first people you approach might be high school classmates, right? Mm-hmm. And then you might approach people he did some music with early on. And then and you kind of build up enough of it, almost like Tupac reporting resume, that then you can go to a sister or cousins and show that you're serious. You know, you're not just out of the blue. I'm sure they get approached all the time. You want to show people, look, you're serious. So for me, early on, Yasmin Fula was a former Black Panther who knew Tupac's mom, Athena. They actually worked together and were Panthers together. And early on, I sort of struck up a friendship with her, and she helped me a lot with the book, and then started speaking for me. And if you can have a few advocates when you're a journalist, it's always kind of helpful. So she became an advocate very quickly. Mm-hmm. And that kind of was a gateway to relatives.
Yeah, like someone like said, like Tupac's sister, you hardly hear anything from her.
Yeah.
And you have her all over your book. I'm like, bro, that's an accomplishment itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was hard. I mean, the thing is, there's a lot of trauma. Like, there's a lot of trauma. Like, this is the most, I've written 11 books. This is by far, not even close, the most sort of trauma I wrote about. Mm-hmm. So I think she certainly was reluctant to talk to me. And even when I interviewed her, you could feel the weight of her, you know? And in a way, I feel maybe she would have been better off not talking to me. You know, maybe like, because as a reporter, you obviously want it, but I just feel like she has to carry this her whole life. Yeah. It's not just a book to her, it's a life. It's the death of her brother, the death of her mother, the trauma they swam through together as a family. So she did talk to me. She gave me multiple interviews. She's an amazingly admirable woman who's been through a shitload of trauma.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
how is she doing now? I mean, is she in a better space at this point?
I mean, I think so, but I don't want to lie. Like, you know, like I learned I remember when I was a baseball writer at Sports Illustrated, and I was young, and you would write about someone, and you'd spend like 4 hours with Gary Sheffield of the Dodgers, and Gary Sheffield would be great. He would spend all the time with you. And you'd go to dinner with him. He'd tell jokes. And then people would say, so what's Gary Sheffield like? And you'd say, oh, he's great. He's the best. But the truth of the matter is he was giving you 4 hours to a reporter knowing what he was giving you. I think Seth is doing well, but it would be a little bit of a unfair lead for me to. Yeah. I don't know what her life is like away from sitting with me. I just don't know.